First of all, why sound corporate governance practices are needed and their importance to Islamic financial institutions. One of the reasons why corporate governance is very essential because of the internal control system. Internal control system is a process for assuring of an organization's objectives in operational effectiveness and efficiency, reliable financial reporting, and compliance with laws. It can reduce the possibility of significant errors and irregularities and assist in their timely detection, frauds, and error. Other than that, it will help a bank's board of directors and management to safeguard the bank's resources. Next, because of Sharia compliance. Sharia compliance refers to ensuring that the organization is run in accordance with globally acknowledged principles such as discipline, honesty, fairness, sincerity, punctuality, and truthfulness. All critical procedures for the supply of services and goods must have their halal and non-halal components identified, communicated, and implemented efficiently. Sharia compliance is critical for Islamic institutions because it allows them to execute Sharia principles, ensure Sharia compliance, and supervise bank activities. Furthermore, it is required for a well-run, efficient, effective, lucrative business and improved performance, as well as the elimination of ambiguity among management, executives, traditional bankers, and banks. Other than that, maintaining Sharia compliance in Islamic financial institutions' organizational process requires a well-structured Sharia governance mechanism. The Sharia governance framework is a useful instrument for assuring and monitoring the competency and efficiency of Islamic financial operations in terms of Sharia compliance.
The first principle of corporate governance minimum standards and specific requirements for Islamic banks and takaful operators, which is every Islamic bank should be headed by an effective board which assumes specific responsibility. Second principle is there should be an effective board composition with a strong independent element. Next, principle 3 is it should be clear division of responsibility at the helm of an institution which will ensure a balance and clear lines of role, responsibility, authority, and accountability. Then, there should be a formal and transparent process for the appointment of directors to the board and the appointment of chief executive officer. Principle 5 is directors must be person of caliber, credibility, and integrity with the necessary skills and experience and be able to devote time and commitment. Principle 6 is board should meet regularly and be duly furnished with complete and timely information. Next, there should be a formal and an ongoing assessment of the effectiveness of the board, the directors, and the CEO. Principle 8 is it should be a formal and transparent procedure for fixing the remuneration package of board members, CEO, and senior management. Other than that, person empowered with decision-making authority, including directors, should exercise care to avoid situations that may give rise to conflict of interest situation. After that, there should be clear separation between shareholders and management so as not to impede sound corporate governance. Principle 11, it should be robust. Auditing, board, and management need to maintain professional and objective relationships. Principle 12 is licensed institutions should engage in regular, effective, and fair communication with shareholders or stakeholders. Other than that, conducting corporate governance in a transparent manner can reinforce sound corporate governance. And the last is principle Its board is collectively responsible and accountable for the veracity of disclosure and management of risk to ensure that an Islamic bank has systems in place to monitor and adequately control the Islamic bank's material risk.
The background of the Islamic Financial Service Board in Islamic financial service industry. Islamic Financial Service Board is located in Kuala Lumpur. Islamic Financial Service Board was officially inaugurated on 3rd November 2002 and started operation on 10 March 2003. It serves as an international standard setting body of regulatory and supervisory agencies that have vested interest in ensuring the soundness and stability of the Islamic financial service industry, which is widely defined to cover banking, capital markets and insurance. Among the IFSB consists of the General Assembly, which includes all members of the IFSB. Second, the Council, which acts as the policy-making body of the IFSB and includes the senior executive of each full member of the organisation. Vision Islamic Financial Service Board is to promote the development of a prudent and transparent Islamic financial service industry through introducing new or adapting existing international standards consistent with Sharia principles and recommend them for adoption. The purpose of the IFSB is to complement that of the BEST Committee on Banking Supervision, International Organization of Securities Commission and the International Association of Insurance Supervisors. As at December 2021, the 187 members of the IFSB comprise 81 regulatory and supervisory authorities, 10 international intergovernmental organizations, and 66 market players, financial institutions, professional firms, industry association, and stock exchange operating in 57 jurisdictions. Malaysia is the host country of the IFSB, which has enacted a law known as the Islamic Financial Service Authority Act 2002, which gives the IFSB the immunities and privileges normally granted to international organizations and diplomatic missions. Since adoption of standard inception, the Islamic Financial Service Board has issued 36 standards, guiding principles and technical notes for the Islamic financial service industry. Among the documents published are risk management, capital adequacy, corporate governance, and the IFSB use core values in all aspects of its operations. They are seen as important in the conduct of the Islamic Financial Service Board's operations, as the IFSB deals with a wide range of members and beneficiaries from many countries and environmental settings. Responsiveness, responsive to the needs of those who they are served. Accountability is take responsibility for action that influence credibility. The Islamic Financial Service Board function or activities are governed by 4 main documents. First, Article of Agreement as at November 2018, Islamic Financial Service Board Act 2002, Islamic Financial Service Board Bylaws as at November 2018, and lastly, guidelines and procedures for the preparation of standard or guideline.
Functions of the Islamic Financial Services Board in Islamic financial services industry. First, to promote the development of an Islamic financial services industry that is prudent and transparent by establishing new or adapting existing international standards that are consistent with Sharia principles and promoting their adoption. Second, to provide guidance on the effective supervisions and regulations of institutions offering Islamic financial products. Third, develop for the Islamic financial services industry the criteria for identifying, measuring, managing, and disclosing risk, taking into account international standards for valuation, income and expense calculation, and disclosure. Fourth, to liaise and cooperate with relevant organizations currently setting standards for the stability and the soundness of the international monetary and financial systems and those of the member countries. Lastly, to enhance and coordinate initiatives to develop instruments and procedures for efficient operation and risk management.
Next, to encourage amongst member countries to work together to develop the Islamic financial industry. Other than that, to promote the development of skills in areas related to the effective regulation of Islamic financial service. Next, to conduct research into the Islamic financial service business and to publish research and surveys on it. Next, to establish a database of Islamic banks, financial institutions and industry experts. Lastly, any other objective on which the Islamic Financial Service Board General Assembly may agree from time to time.
Today, I will present about the objective and the adoption of accounting and auditing organization for Islamic financial institutions in Islamic banks and takaful operators. Accounting and auditing organization for Islamic financial institution within the Islamic Sharia rules and principles has the following objective. Firstly, LAW2533 helps to enhance accounting, auditing, governance and ethical philosophy in relation to the activities of Islamic financial institutions while also taking into account worldwide standards and practices that are compliant with the Islamic Sharia rules. Second, LAW2533 disseminate the accounting, auditing, governance and ethical talk relating to the activities of Islamic financial institutions and its application through training, seminar, publication of periodical newsletters, preparation of report, research and through other means. Next, it also to avoid contradiction and inconsistency between the fatwas and the application by this institution, achieve conformity or similarity to the extent possible in concept and application among the Sharia supervisory boards of Islamic financial institutions with the view of activating the rules of the Sharia supervisory board of Islamic financial institutions and central banks through the preparation, issuance and interpretation of Sharia standards and Sharia rules. Besides, to contact relevant regulatory organizations, Islamic financial institutions, other Islamic financial institutions that provide Islamic financial services and accounting and auditing companies in order to apply LAW2533 standard statement and guidelines. Besides, LAW2533 also provide educational and training programs, include professional development programs in accounting, auditing, ethics, governance, Sharia, and other related areas in order to increase knowledge of Islamic banking and finance and also to encourage better professionalism. LAW2533 will conduct training, examination, and certification on its own or in collaboration with other organizations. Lastly, other initiatives such as certification of compliance with LAW2533 standards will be carried out in order to raise awareness and acceptance of LAW2533 accounting, auditing, ethics, governance, and Sharia standards. From the objective, we can see that LAW2533 achieved these goals in line with Islamic Sharia, which is a comprehensive framework for all parts of life and the accordance with the context in which Islamic financial institutions have grown. These activities aims to increase the confidence of users of Islamic financial institution financial statement in the information generated about them, as well as to encourage them to invest or deposit their funds in Islamic financial institution and use their services. Moving to the next presentation is the adoption of LAW2533. There are three types of adoption of LAW2533. Firstly, the Sharia standard. Many countries and jurisdictions around the world have adopted LAW2533 Sharia standard as mandatory regulatory requirement, including Bahrain, Jordan, Nigeria, Oman, and Pakistan. LAW2533 Sharia standards are followed by a number of Sharia Islamic finance, Sharia consultancy, educational, training institutions, as well as non-banking financial companies. Besides, legal bases for the national standard have been formed in countries such as Kazakhstan based on LAW2533 Sharia norms and have been recommended as guidelines in jurisdictions such as Kuwait. LAW2533 Sharia standards are followed by many Sharia consultancy auditing firms, takaful or insurance companies, non-banking finance companies, capital market institutions, educational or training institution, Sharia scholar, and also professional around the world. In addition to regulatory institution. Example of countries and jurisdictions that follow LAW2533 Sharia standard fully or as guidance are Afghanistan, Bahrain, Libya, and Qatar. The next adoption standard is accounting standard. Bahrain, Jordan, Oman, Pakistan, and Yemen have implemented LAW2533 accounting standard in whole or in part as mandatory regulatory requirement. In countries like Indonesia and Pakistan, LAW2533 accounting standard have been utilized as the foundation for building national accounting standard, and in Kuwait, they have been recommended as guideline. Secondary reporting based on LAW2533 accounting standard is permitted in the Dubai International Financial Center, Labuan, and the Maldives. Besides, individual banks in Bangladesh, for example, use the LAW2533 accounting norms in a voluntary basis. The Republic of Kazakhstan has built a legal basis for accounting based on LAW2533 principle. LAW2533 Sharia standards are followed by a number of Sharia consultancy, auditing firms, takaful or insurance companies, non-banking finance companies, capital market institution, educational or training institution, Sharia scholar and professionals around the world, in addition to regulatory institutions. Lastly, the auditing governance standards and codes of ethics. In jurisdictions such as Bahrain, Jordan, Oman, Pakistan, and Sudan, LAW2533 auditing governance standards and code of ethics and other pronouncements are either fully or partially adopted as mandatory regulatory requirement. Several Sharia consultancy, auditing firms, takaful or insurance companies, non-banking financial corporation, capital market institution, educational or training institution, Sharia scholar and professionals follow LAW2533 governance standards around the world.